on EA Sports. We've got a good one on tap today. There's going to be two quarterbacks ready to get it done on the gridiron. It's Ryan's Falcons going up against Wilson Seahawks. So let's get you up to Central Link Field in Seattle. On the call, here are Brandon Guyton and Charles Davis.
All right, Larry, thank you. We are in the Pacific Northwest as we get set for football at CenturyLink Field here in Seattle. Today, we've got a good NFC matchup lined up here between the Atlanta Falcons and the Seattle Seahawks. And he'll get this up to about the 38-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. And a as we look at the starters now, a man who really has earned us talking about him in the booth, Julio Jones.
He's a 1,000-yard receiver each and every year. So sleek, so wonderful. I call him Secretariat.
On 2nd down, Freeman. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. Snap count threw the defense off. 5-yard penalty. This defense looking for an early stop. This is 3rd down and 6. On 3rd down, Ryan. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
After watching him drop that slant, I can hear my old coach's voice ringing in my ears right now. You can't run with the ball until you catch it. Trying to get those rack yards before he secured it.
Okay, look at this. The punt team nowhere to be found. They're on the sidelines. Offense going to go for this on the opening drive. Here's Ryan to throw. And he's got Sanu. And he's got the 1st down yardage as he takes it down to the 49. I don't know if I agree with that. I guess they don't care if I agree with that. But, boy, you have to be surprised by that, right?
I definitely was surprised that they decided to go for it in this situation. But they must have either felt like they either had a great play call on or they're trying to show extreme confidence.
Now Ryan on 1st down. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. It looks like a loss of right around 11 there on 1st down to set him back on 2nd. Now Ryan on 2nd down. Ryan hit, and he lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
3rd and long. It's Ryan. He's going to fire. Trying to get it to Robinson, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Deshaun Shedd. And his crew will take over at their own 45-yard line. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the 1st quarter.
Too many ones in this play. 1st quarter, 1st drive, 1st interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts. They come out here in the eye. First carry for Thomas Rawls. And he's going to take this one down to about the 46-yard line. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll bring up a second in just about a few inches here. Shift together here from the D-line. On second down, here's Wilson. It's caught outright by Graham. The ball comes out. So it goes as a fumble, but the key thing, not a fumble loss.
Yeah, that stat's big, isn't it? I mean, I remember watching teams play. The ball might be on the ground a number of times during the game, but the other team doesn't get it. That's a huge difference in the ball game. And in this case, they were able to retain possession.
And he's got Lockett. And he's brought down after a good game. A pickup of 24 on the third down conversion.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. And the offense behind the chains here a touch on 2nd and 11. So the D-line's going to spread out. Throwing is Wilson. Looking for Lockett, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And the return just out across the 15 to the 16-yard line. And the Falcons now making their way back out onto the field. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I'm here, my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
On second down, here's Ryan. He's going to sling this deep downfield. And this will be caught at the 30. And he is down deep into Seattle territory. A big-time play there for the Falcons. 74 yards. This is Freeman on 1st and 10. And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. Devontae Freeman taking it in from 11 yards out. And the Falcons have taken the early lead. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how we're going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
Here's Bosher to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And the Seahawks get ready to trot out on the field. Looked like they had something going last drive. Then the interception happened. Will they recover?
The memory they need to keep with them is that they did have something going. They were moving the ball on offense, had a nice sequence going. Don't worry about the other part. You can't get that back. Let's go back to what you were doing well before.
I thought you were going to say they need to have no memory, but remember the good part, forget the bad.
I like that even better.
No gain on the play there. It'll be second down.
And while he did a good job of sliding around in the pocket, there was nowhere to go with the football, so he had to take off and try and run. He just got back to the line of scrimmage, no gain.
Wilson. They'll lock it with a grab over the middle. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
In recent years, the slot receivers really gained stature in the NFL because they could do so many things. Yes, they can line up wide like your normal wide receiver, but they have that kind of courage and toughness to run routes in the middle of the field and become dependable targets for their quarterbacks and move the sticks. Those guys are worth their weight in gold.
On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. It's caught, Lockett. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. Give him 18 on that one. And that'll be good for a Seattle first down. is the lone man in the backfield. Now Wilson. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. Give him 7 on the play, and it'll be a second down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide.
And he fires one that's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Here comes the Falcon offense now as they get set to take over here. And they were able to punch it in the end zone last time. They'll be looking to do that again here for the defense. Obviously, they'll be looking to stop them from punching it back in the end zone.
It always is punch-counter-punch, isn't it? And which team has the advantage? Well, let's just go back.
And now this is intercepted. My goodness. It's the Pro Bowl quarterback, Richard Sherman. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line. And Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And 2 interceptions already here in this first half. That's got to affect him a little bit, right? He's got to be thinking about it.
He's got to be thinking about it, but most of the good ones, they find a way to put it aside. They're not happy about it.
Pressure comes, and Wilson's going to go down. Philip Wheeler from his outside linebacker spot. He gets him down here for a loss of 4. On second down, Wilson. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. So after that big gain, let's see what else the offense has up its sleeves. Now Wilson on first down. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Philip Wheeler coming in from that outside linebacker spot. He gets him down for a loss of 5. Here's Wilson. No, he dropped it. They were looking for him in the middle third. He couldn't catch it. Now third down.
On any passes in the middle of the field, anyone who's going after the football is going to be conscious that it's probably going to be contested, and often physically. Sometimes that leads to drops.
He's got time. And Wilson's going to be intercepted a third time. Ricardo Allen with a pick. And he'll bring this one back to the 29. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And last time, 1-play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling. Because a 1-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give him a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, get a little confidence in him, and let him fling another one. We can talk about rookie quarterbacks and mistakes they make, but an 11-11 record and 24 touchdowns, 7 interceptions going into this weekend's games, that wasn't too bad.
Not bad at all. And understandably, a lot of people talking about Prescott and Wentz, but you say Cody Kessler deserves a little love.
I think so. He made a 6th start against Dallas, threw a touchdown pass, and continues to be accurate and tough in the pocket. Carson Wentz, I think, is still playing well, despite the fact the team's had a little bit of a losing skid. But Dak Prescott threw 3 touchdown passes at Green Bay, threw 3 more against Cleveland last weekend.
And he'll get this one out to the 50 to the midfield stripe. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And 3 interceptions in this game. And I would have to think, I wasn't a quarterback, but number 4 is kind of, you're like, oh, man, I can't throw 4.
No, what's interesting is...
And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. That one will set him back nearly 10 yards here on first down on the sack. On second down, here's Wilson. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. Tyler Lockett was the target there. And it's third down.
It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. He's going to loft one deep left side here. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. And that one incomplete. Had some position, but couldn't hold on, and it brings up fourth down. So on fourth down, as seen on TV, here's their resident strongman, John Ryan, on to punt. And that one hits a little too close to the goal line. And it continues into the end zone for a touchback. So out come the Falcons now. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. Again, they'll run with Freeman. Trying to get out wide, but he's going to be tackled right near the line of scrimmage. Calling no gain there, and it brings forth a 3rd and long. And the dreaded 3rd and long here for the offense. Well, that was better than the first go-around when he lost yardage, but still nothing there, and that sets up a 3rd and long. Tough spot here.
Put it mildly. Sometimes I wonder if some of that old-school football should come back into play. You know what I would think here? Quick kick. Try and change field position. Help out your team. This offense really put themselves in a tough spot on 1st and 2nd down, needing long yardage to try and pick up a 1st down, and they ended up getting a great run. Explosive, picked up nice yardage. You don't expect to be in this situation on 4th down, but guess what? It all started with what happened on 1st and 2nd down. Really put them behind the 8 ball. And
in their own territory, needing only a few inches, they're going to line up to go for this thing on 4th down. And he's got Sanu. Give him 14 on the play. And they're able to convert here on 4th and inches. 1st down and 10 now for the offensive group.
Mission accomplished on that throw. Slant, pick up the 1st down. I like how he just put it on the receiver and didn't read him on that one.
Happened quickly. Defense, not much they could do. They'll set up the screen for Freeman. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. 11 yards on the pickup, and it'll give the Falcons a 1st down.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen, where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football, then all of them going together as one unit downfield. A really nice pickup.
And they're going to hurry back to the line now.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. And I think that one might have been intercepted, but he will be ruled out of bounds. So this will go only as incomplete. Well, interceptions have been a problem in this one. If he could have gotten his feet down here, would have been another.
Would have been a huge one. They've had a great game taking the ball away. Thought they had another one, just unable to get those cleats in bounds.
On 3rd down, Ryan. And unable to connect on the long pass. It falls down incomplete.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had to fly, just sending a guy downfield with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Yeah, they said forget the underneath route. They went for the guy on the fly, but as you said, incomplete. So here we go. The offense is going to stay out there. They're going for it on 4th and 8. They're going on 4th down. It's Ryan. And it is incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Seahawks are going to take over the football. And Seattle now ready to march onto the field. And with time quickly fading here in the 2nd quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
And that is incomplete. Down to 15 seconds now.
And when all else fails as a defender, when you're not there in the coverage, your best friend is exactly what we saw there. A big play shot taken by the offense. Unfortunately, it ended in a big drop.
Throwing is Wilson. He's going to take another shot here. And this is caught. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Doug Baldwin in the final seconds of the 1st half. And the Seahawks just an extra point away from tying this thing up. Stephen Hauschka for the point after. It's good, and we're all tied at 7 apiece. So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. That's fielded in the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. A great read, and it's picked off. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. As Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. They have a chance to break our tie here as we get a look at the first drive of quarter 3.
And it's such a tone setter, isn't it? Because both sides trying to seize momentum to begin the half. What do they have dialed up that'll give them an advantage to move the ball downfield?
Let's find out what they have dialed up. In motion is the tight end, Graham. Throwing now, Wilson on first down. Flushed out right. Now he'll let it go deep right side. He's got it at the 15. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Jimmy Graham, 75 yards. And the Seahawks are able to strike for 6. And that one obviously worked out, but it's one where you kind of hold your breath because he was sitting there waiting to take a hit as he threw that ball downfield.
And this is the NFL. You're going to be tested a lot as a guy throwing the football. Will you stand in there, take the hit, and deliver downfield? And when you do it consistently, your offensive line loves you, your receivers love you. Everyone does their job to the utmost because they have that kind of confidence in you, and they know that you've shown some toughness, and that's what he exhibited there.
But your body hates you.
No, your body's not real thrilled about the whole thing, but ice packs all around for the QB.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And it's complete to Jacob Tamme. And he's finally taken down, but not before getting across midfield and across the 45-yard line. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there. But depending on the team, they call that an explosive play or a chunk play, the one that they got on the previous one. They tried to go back and get another one, didn't they?
They did, but unsuccessful on that second attempt. Second down now after the incompletion. Second and 10 now. Ryan. He's going to go up top again. And he's got his star receiver. It's Jones for the Falcon touchdown. Julio Jones, 43 yards. And the Falcons are an extra point away from tying the football game. And we've got a good one brewing. We're all knotted up at 14. So all square here in this third quarter as the kick's away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. And Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. That's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust.
20 yards on the pickup there. And the Seahawks are going to have a first down. And now they're in the hurry-up. On first down, Wilson. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Adrian Claiborne in there to get him his second sack now of the afternoon. Now Wilson on second down. They'll lock it with a grab over the middle. A nice gain of 21 yards. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
And he couldn't hang on. Would have been their fourth pick of the game. Instead, second down.
While an incomplete pass certainly doesn't look like a good play, for the guy throwing it today, as many interceptions he's thrown, he's got to feel a sigh of relief that the ball actually hit the ground and didn't go in the other direction.
And that's complete to Luke Wilson. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line. A good pickup there, a 22. And now it looks like they're going to be in the hurry-up.
And that catch there by Luke Wilson goes for a first down, and he's really developed and come on. Now, remember, Jimmy Graham, who was expected to be the key tight end for Russell Wilson, he was hurt most of 2015. Luke Wilson really jumped his game up. When teams take shots at the end zone, you've got to defend it the same way you would defend the first down sticks. You defend the goal line exactly the same way. They can't cross that. You play through the receivers, and on that play, that's exactly what they did and batted it away.
Second and 10. It's Wilson again. They'll tussle for it, and this is going to be caught. That one goes for 16 yards. It sets them up first and goal.
Forget height and catch radius. When you run the fade really well, run down the defender, kind of take him a little bit towards the middle of the field, and then fade to the sideline and give your quarterback some space, it can be executed that well, just as we saw.
And now the offense operates in the red zone. And the D-line pinching together must be expecting the run. Wilson will throw again. Incomplete. The intended target, Doug Baldwin. That'll bring up second down.
All defenders get tired of hearing about their lack of hands and why they're playing defense instead of offense. But in this situation, it was the hands that made the play. Batting the ball away on an attempted touchdown pass, excellent job. Way to knock it down.
And the 8th play on this drive coming up. On second down, Rawls. And he will take this one in for the Seattle touchdown. Thomas Rawls, a 5-yard touchdown run. And the Seahawks are going to take the lead. And he knocks it through. Now to send this one away following the score. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. Last time they were out, they scored. Still trailing here, though, so some work to do.
But it's okay in terms of mindset. Because they scored the last time, they're not quite as worried about being down on the scoreboard because now their confidence is a little bit higher. They feel like they've got something going, and they feel like they can attack again.
And got his man complete. And he's brought down, but not before getting across midfield to the 45.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, That's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Jaron Reed in there to bring him down for a loss of 7. On second down, here's Ryan. He's going to float this over the middle, deep. And my goodness, another interception. It's the Pro Bowl cornerback, Richard Sherman. The Seahawks offense now, they get set to go back to work. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that, they had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were competent enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
Again on 2nd and 10, it's Wilson. Wide open receiver complete. And he's brought down after a good gain.
If post pattern is often equated as a change-up route, how about when you throw it to your big guy down the center of the field? Covered or not, you have great confidence he's going to come down with the football. And when he does, as we just saw, long gains often result.
12 yards there as they move the chains. And they're going to speed things up here. On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. Looking deep downfield. And incomplete. He dropped it in the end zone.
In this situation, it's really tough to figure out how to defend because they have plenty of room to still take deep shots at the end zone as they just did there. Yet at the same time, you've got to be ready for the short throw. In this case, when you see the cue that they're going for the end zone, retreat and make sure you have a way to play forward, back towards the receiver, and have a chance to bat the ball away as they did there. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs. Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo. From the red zone now, here's Wilson on 1st down. It's complete to Lockett. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. They'll give him 8 on the play, and that'll make it a 2nd down. When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage. That's complete right around the 8. 7 yards on the pickup there, and now they've got it 1st and goal. Back now in Seattle, Washington. It's the Seahawks with the possession. They also have the lead here as we get set for the 4th and final quarter. Here comes the D swarming to the line. To throw again is Wilson. That's caught at the 2. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Jimmy Graham, a beast in the red zone with his 2nd touchdown of the game. And the Seahawks find a way to stretch their lead. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. Hauschka now to send this one away following the score. That'll be taken in the end zone. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. They come up in an offset eye. The drive will start with a carry by Devontae Freeman. Devontae Freeman, they're not going to get him. Touchdown, Falcons. Devontae Freeman, 76 yards. And the Falcons draw a bit closer. And those are the highlight reel runs you dream of right there. When he gets a seam and just gets through it, how about the explosiveness, the burst to get there to begin with, and then once he's in full gallop, good luck trying to track him down.
And those plays so demoralizing for the defense.
Absolutely, because you've done so much work trying to keep people in front of you. When they're past you and behind you, that's a tough one to swallow.
And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to come back onto the field. Good drive last time. Really effective passing the football. Do you maybe mix it up, now go to the ground game and surprise the defense a little bit?
I would anticipate the defense making some changes, but I wouldn't necessarily just absolutely go in the opposite direction. They're doing so well throwing the ball.
Yeah, why
I wouldn't change it up until they showed me a reason to do so.
Here's Wilson. And incomplete, a drop there in the middle third of the field. That'll bring up second down. So incomplete on first. Let's see what second down has in store.
Looked like they had an opportunity for a big play across the middle, but he didn't have the concentration or the focus necessary and dropped it before he could haul it in.
Second and 10 now, Wilson. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. He was looking for Thomas Rawls there, and it's third down.
And there was a good opportunity that just went awry there, a drop pass. I guess that's why they call them running backs and not catching backs.
On third down, Wilson. Toward the sideline. Did he keep the feet in? Yes, he got them both down, says the side judge. And that's good enough for a first down.
And that pickup of a first down, that's going to leave a mark because they really needed to stop them there, didn't they?
Oh, so frustrating. Defensively, you're a play away from getting that football back here down late. Tough.
Now they've got to find a way to create a turnover or takeaway. Otherwise, this one will probably get away from them.
Watch left. Tight end to the left.
On first down, Wilson. They set up the screen to Rawls. Call it a gain of 3, and it'll bring up a second down.
So many things have to come together just right for a screen pass to break for big yardage. The blocking, the timing of the pass to the runner, everything has to fit together just right. But on that play, the defense was able to disrupt things and hold it to a short gain.
Second down now after the pass completion. Again, Wilson. And his throw here is incomplete. He was trying to get it to Jermaine Kearse. And now it's third down. Seven yards remain now on third down. Defense showing blitz. Wilson will throw again. He sets to fire deep. Got a man, it's caught inside the 10. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Jermaine Kearse, 60 yards. And the Seahawks add on to their lead. And this is no good. Boy, that didn't even get there. Not a good effort at all. And our score remains the same. Hauschka now to send this one away following the score. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. And here now come the Falcons. And coming off a one-play drive that was so deflating for the defense, what's their mentality? How do they rally here and stop this offense?
Well, hopefully there's some determination that sets in because they weren't ready to go on the last one. Give all the credit to the offensive guys for getting it done, but to allow a run of that length, that's just not being prepared. So now, are they determined? Are they ready to read their keys and make the proper plays?
And we'll see how determined they are. And he's going to lose yardage here. Back to his own 18. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
We just saw another example of how the defense is winning this game. Really at the point of attack, the offensive line is just getting pushed around. I think now as a play caller, you've got to give them a little bit of help. Maybe keep your tight ends a little bit more. Maybe the running backs help you a little bit with the pass blocking. But you've got to help them get some confidence because you can't abandon the play calling right now. When the 4-3 defense is functioning really well, you know who stays what we call clean and no one gets to him? The guy playing the middle linebacker position, the guy we call Mike. That means the defensive front is eating up all the blocks and just let him go to the football and make a play.
This is Coleman. And he is going to lose yardage here. Losing 4 yards that time. And now it's 4th down.
With the struggles we're seeing up front for the offense today, they've got to think about changing up their play calling. Some screens, some draws, some quick-hitting plays in order to try and supplement the run game. You don't totally abandon it, but you try and give it a little bit of help.
And that is incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And, boy, possession here turns over with the football already being in the red zone. Possible run anticipation here as the D-line sandwiches together. Steps away to his left. And he'll just chuck this one up into row G. It's incomplete.
How many times when we see an incomplete pass, we just look at the receiver and say, should have caught that one. That was a drop, and we just put it on the offense. How about a little credit for the defense there? They just forced an incompletion.
Yeah, especially after starting in a tough spot defensively, but a good start there on 1st down.
That gave them a little extra confidence there, starting, as you said, in a tough spot and being able to make a play on 1st down. Everything about that play tells you about today's NFL offenses and what they're asking out of running backs. You can't just be a guy who can run the football. You have to be able to catch it as well, and he didn't get that done on that play.
From the gun on 3rd down, Wilson. That almost intercepted. Would have been a huge pick in the end zone, but as it stands, that brings up 4th.
A missed opportunity for an interception would have killed off a drive. They had a chance there to finish things off. Didn't get it done. I guess that's why a lot of those guys do not play offense.
And Hauschka's kick is good. And that will extend their lead even further. So they settle for just the 3 there, but clearly anything helps when you're trying to salt one away here in the 4th.
Without a doubt, I think a touchdown would have been the final nail. But 3 does give them some breathing room and lets them build up a little cushion.
Atlanta now coming out on the field. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. A good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3, and that's exactly.
And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by the all-pro free safety, Earl Thomas. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
Time for a break. We're back to finish this one off after this. And some extras coming up on the line here, readying for the blitz. Oh, Wilson going to throw. He's going to float this one deep right side. He's got a man complete. A gain of 32 that time. Well, even after all those interceptions, he's not deterred, still confident to go deep at work there.
I think all the old rules about playing that position still apply. If things go wrong, you still act like you're the best player out on the field. You still carry that supreme arrogance with you and continue to fire the ball. I've seen guys have games like this, and this is where you find out if you're great or not. Can you overcome some interceptions and still lead your team to victory?
And he's brought down after a good game. A good pick up there of 20 yards. And the offense moving quickly to the line. First down, this is Rawls. And they'll lose yardage here. Knocked back to the 19-yard line. So a loss of 5, and it'll be 2nd down.
So, Brandon, when this offense gathers together to watch tape for this game, they're going to be...
And, he coughed it up. And Lockett with a grab over the middle. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Now the Falcons offense, they get ready to head back out here. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. They'll wind up losing 8 on the sack there, and it's 2nd down. And quickly they get to the line. Back into his end zone. And Jones has it over the middle. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. From the gun on 3rd down, Ryan. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. Ryan. He's got time in the pocket. He's going to let it fly. And this is intercepted. And that should do it. Picked off by the all-pro free safety, Earl Thomas. And he'll take this across midfield and inside the 45. And out now come the Seahawks. Only 1 timeout defensively, so this should just be a simple kneel down.
I agree totally. I looked at my time management chart. It says take a knee, victory formation. They just have 1 timeout left. And that should be all she wrote.
By the way, it's a good thing you can read that because nobody else can.
Not with my chicken scratch. Not at all. On every offensive coordinator, every play caller sheet, they have about 5 or 6 plays per game that they call shot plays or big plays. And you don't get many opportunities to dial them up. And they just did. And they drop it with a great chance to make a big play. That's going to hurt.
And this will be caught. Well, forget taking the knee. Some late gamesmanship here as they throw for a late touchdown.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors. But that's his 2nd touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. So we had action to the very end of this one. The score on the final play that they didn't need to have. They didn't just run out the clock, though. They added to their final total.
Played it all the way to the end. And, you know, some coaches preach that and tell their teams, that's what I want all the time. And they feel like if they don't do it themselves, they're not living up to the message that they're sending out.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. It's a win for the Seahawks here as we say so long from Seattle.
quarterbacks who will be trying to lead their team to victory. It's Ryan's Falcons going up against Stafford's Lions. With that, let's head up to Detroit as we say hello to our guys, Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis. 5
yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. On second down, here's Stafford. It's complete to Golden Tate. And he's brought down.
Brad, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. The play Golden Tate made in overtime on the catch, he thought he was going out of bounds, didn't he?
I thought he was, and then they reviewed it. He barely stayed in. Not only the catch, but just to evade the tacklers, tiptoe the line. What a play. What a game that was.
I wonder about the flip into the end zone. I wonder if that's a byproduct of the exultation of that move that he made. Almost like he was celebrating what he did. Got in. I think his coach said, hey, look, we don't need the flip, but we'll definitely take the play and the touchdown.
The Lions are 27th in the NFL in rushing, so it's been sparse at times. Theo Riddick this past week, 70 yards on 14 carries.
He's really starting to blossom as a runner, and that's a little bit of a surprise because his reputation is third down type back. Remember at Notre Dame, running back and receiver, he combined those skills very well in the NFL. But with Amir Abdullah out, someone has to pick up the slack, and that's what he's doing.
Now on first down, it's Washington again. And he cuts it. Touchdown, Detroit. A great play there. 33 yards. And the Lions are going to take a first quarter lead. So they get the ball on the opening drive. They take it in for the score.
And how about setting the tone right away? Everyone talks about wanting to do that, but you always hear it in every locker room. First 5 minutes of the game, who's going to set the tone? Who's going to take control? Guess who just did?
Well, now on the next drive, when you score that quickly or you're scored that quickly again, it's probably feel like you need to respond.
Yeah, without a doubt. In other words, you've actually put the pressure even more so on your opponent.
That's fielded in the end zone. This Lions D, they only gave up 16 points in the Week 9 win in OT. They're starting to come around, aren't they?
I think the turnaround began during their 3-game homestand in which they won all 3. Remember the plays down the stretch by Darius Slay against Philadelphia? Remember the goal line stand against the LA Rams? That's when things started to jump up for this Lions defense, and they're continuing to play well.
And the analyst on the television side for those 3 games, Charles Davis. They come out here in the eye. They'll run for the first time with Devontae Freeman. And they'll blow that one up back at the 16-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
Ezekiel Ziggy Ansah with a tackle for loss. Just think he's still learning the game of football. Didn't play ahead.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. Ziggy Ansah in there to bring him down for a loss of 7. Well, it was second long. Now it's third and even longer. They're going in the wrong direction here.
Because they're moving exactly the way they want to, but you're exactly right. Definitely going in the wrong direction for the offensive guys.
Now Ryan. Ezekiel Ansah in there to pick up his second sack now of the afternoon.
Well, if an offense is going to throw the ball on this part of the field, any pass rusher will tell you that's his favorite part. Gets a chance to get after the quarterback. It's almost like a reverse red zone. They can create points using their defense, and this time they take their man down.
Here's Matt Bosher now. And no room for error here as his first punt comes from deep in his own end zone. So a short drop, but he's able to get it out, and this is a good kick. On the return, it's Tate. Nice stiff arm.
Underused, but still effective.
Touchdown, Detroit. Golden Tate, 64 yards. And the Lions strike quickly. for 6 points. Now Prater to add the PAT. And it's good to make it 14-0. So after surrendering the punt return for a score, let's see what they can do in turn on this kickoff. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. Now the Falcons offense gets ready to head back onto the field. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, that they touch it on this possession to try and get things moving.
So get it to the horses.
Without a doubt. They're the ones that typically end up in the end zone.
Freeman again. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up third.
And that was a nice play by the defense. And it is tough to be an offensive lineman nowadays, especially if you're dealing with how the defensive tackles have evolved. Their quickness, their agility, their speed has changed the big guys in the middle, the center, and the offensive guards. Formerly, they were just power players. Now they have to be light on their feet as well to keep up with the speed of the defensive players.
The former Indiana Hoosier here, Tevin Coleman. And he is going to lose yardage here. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down.
Brandon, that play ended so fast, it's almost as if the quarterback handed it to the runner, and the tackler was there right away for a loss of yardage.
Looks like Ryan's going to stay out there. Indeed, they're going to try for this on 4th down. They'll indeed go for it with Ryan. It's caught. Jones. And he's brought down after a good gain. Give him 28 yards on that one. And they're able to move the chains as they convert on 4th and long. And some changes here as the D-line separates some. From midfield now, here's Ryan. Going for the deep ball. Got a man, it's caught inside the 10. Touchdown, Falcons. Julio Jones, 50 yards. And the Falcons have cut it to within a score. Now Matt Bryant on for the point after. And that one makes it 14-7. Now after the touchdown, it's Bosher to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. Back out come the Lions, and earlier you talked about all their come-from-behind wins this year. They have been sort of the cardiac kids of the NFL, but at 5-4, I don't know, what do you think of this team? Could this be a playoff team?
I think this is a team that has a great potential to be a playoff team because within the division, they're not going to back down to anyone. And right now, that division is vulnerable. And the Lions, mentally tough, playing with whoever shows up on Sunday. And Matthew Stafford, give him some MVP looks, please.
He's going to loft one deep left side here. And that is incomplete. Here with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, as the Lions are in possession of the football here to begin quarter number 2. They've got it 2nd and 10 to start things out. The defensive line disperses a little bit here, maybe expecting a pass. They'll send a receiver in motion left. On 2nd down, Washington. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10. Well, usually you don't think of the cornerback coming in for a no-gain play, but that's what we had there. Nice tackle.
And how about the range, too? Coming from the outside part of the play, moving his way into the inside and making that play happen. No gain for the offense, big play for the defense. Partner, I think that completion takes the definition of dink and dunk to a different level, doesn't it?
It does, and the defense was right there, kind of played into their hands. Out to his left, and Tate's got it. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. It's a 9-yard pickup on the play, and on fourth down, they're able to convert and move the sticks. On first, here's Washington, and he is going to lose yardage here. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
That play almost seemed like a baseball play. See ball, hit ball. But in this case, see guy with ball, tackle guy with ball.
To throw on second down is Stafford. Finding time. Over the middle, complete to Tate. A very solid gain of 27. Well, we know he's got the speed there. He needed the speed and the hands. A great catch.
And because of that speed, you have to respect it as a defender. So you have to either play off or make sure you're somehow in contact with him. And he's able to do exactly what you said. Use the speed to his advantage and go up and get the football. That's a big-time play right there. But I think we know by now that every run is not going to be broken and get all the way to the end zone. But these short ones still have their value. You can still set up your play action and throw the football. You control the clock because you have the ball and they don't. And often the physicality sets the tempo for the game.
And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. Give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs.
They ran that one well, and not only did they pick up a nice chunk of yardage on the screen, they sent a message to the defense. Rush the passer all you want, but you better be careful. We can hit you going back the other direction.
Riddick with a carry. And a cut to the side. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Theo Riddick, a 23-yard run. And the Lions add on to their lead.
Well, partner, that was another explosive run, and one thing I've learned in our time in this game, yes, the offensive line has to get a lot of credit, but for big runs to occur, the wide receivers have to block well downfield.
And then you have to have a good guy carrying the ball too, right?
Oh, without a doubt. You need that difference maker lugging the rock.
So after the touchdown, Martin now on to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. And they're hoping to capture some of that magic they had last time out when they were able to put together a scoring drive. But they're still down here, Charles.
Not the major concern, though, because of what you talked about. They scored the last time out. They feel good about themselves. They feel like their game plan is now in effect. They know how to attack and what plays they want to put together. But they've got to keep it moving in the right direction because, as you did note, they are down on the scoreboard.
Ryan on the handoff. It's Freeman. And the window closes quickly. He'll only get up to the 22-yard line. It'll only be a gain of a yard, and it sets up a third down and 4 now. And now it's a 3rd and 4 situation for the offense. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. We'll come back to Ford Field after this. Coleman now. And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
When you put together a formula for winning defense, it's exactly what we're seeing in this game. Controlling the line of scrimmage, attacking, and changing everything so that now they're playing in the offense's backfield. They're playing an excellent game.
And no move to get the offense off the field. They're going on 4th and 5. Here we go on 4th down with Ryan. And that's caught by Tammy. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36.
We always talk about big-time players make big-time plays in big-time moments. I think that 4th down qualified. That was a heck of a throw.
Throwing now, Ryan on 1st down. Escaping the pressure right. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. Touchdown, Falcons. Julio Jones. with his second touchdown here in this first half. And the Falcons draw a bit closer. Yeah, he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. And they'll be looking to build off of a nice drive last time, a drive that really relied on the quarterback.
Making good decisions, distributing the ball well, distributing it accurately, keeping it away from danger. A really nicely run drive.
But now the defense, what adjustments do they need to make in the passing game?
Pass rush, pass rush, pass rush. Whether it's the guys up front or maybe you bring additional guys, but you've got to disrupt the timing.
There he goes right side. Past the 20. Touchdown, Detroit. A big play there with his second touchdown here in this first half. And the Lions strike quickly here for 6 points. He's got it as they double up the lead. This one's now 28-14. Here's Martin now following the score as he'll send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you've got to figure if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk is a big decision here.
A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves them with a 2nd and 3. They're going to hurry back to the line now. Off the play fake to Freeman. It's Ryan. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
The good signal callers would never go back in the huddle and play the blame game because they need those guys to protect him. But on that last one, his offensive line, they lost their leverage very quickly, and that's why they were able to get to him and hit him as he tried to throw the football and force an incompletion.
He's going to loft one deep left side here. This is caught inside the 15. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Red zone opportunity. Shift together here from the D-line. Out of the gun, it's Ryan. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Devontae Freeman as the first half is winding down. And the Falcons have cut it to within a score. He's got it, and they're back within a touchdown at 28-21. Now after the touchdown, it's Bosher to kick it away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. The Lions offense, they get ready to head back onto the field. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
They go with Washington to begin the drive. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. And they're behind the sticks here a bit now, dealing with a 2nd and 12.
Hey, 50. Check safety.
Right back to Washington. And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. And you see the clock almost empty, so this is likely the last play in the second quarter. So 2 quarters down, 2 remain. Charles and I return after the break. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. That's fielded in the end zone. And last Last year, that would have been a net gain of 5 on the return. This year, he stopped where he would have been if he had taken a knee, and that's at the 25. And the Falcons now making their way back out onto the field. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up. On second down, rush coming, and he's taken down. Ziggy Ansah able to disrupt yet another pass play, his 3rd sack of the afternoon. 3rd and long, it's Ryan. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Tahir Whitehead, he's the one to get it this time, and back-to-back sacks are going to bring up a 4th down. And how about this? 4th and long, and they're going to go for it. They'll indeed go for it with Ryan. He'll rifle. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. The 20. Touchdown, Falcons. Julio Jones, 87 yards. And the Falcons are an extra point away from tying the football game. He's got it. This thing's turning a bit wild here. We're tied at 28. Nothing separating these two teams on the scoreboard as the kick's away here. That's fielded in the end zone. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line. So we get a look at the Lions offense as they get ready for their first possession of the second half. First half showed us some pretty good offense. Tie game, we'll see what the second half brings.
And it'll be interesting because I think both sides feel pretty good about what their offenses are doing. Got to wonder what adjustments are being made defensively to try and get a spark and maybe slow down the other side.
But here, do you change up anything on this opening drive?
Not a
Looking for Tate, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Robert Alford. And he'll take this back all the way up past the 45-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And that recipe on their last drive that resulted in a touchdown looked pretty good, so they'll be hoping to do that once more.
And it takes me back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator and the head coach. They felt pretty good about their game plan and thought there were some holes in the defense, and they exploited them the last time out. Let's see if they can come back and put together a similar drive.
And we'll see if they can do just that. They'll try to get the ground game going with Freeman. And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. And they're going to hurry back to the line now.
Well, in that play, the expression, don't blink, you might miss something. Certain
blitz coming, and down he goes. DeAndre Levy not dropping into coverage. He comes on the blitz. It takes him down for a loss of 9. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. From the gun on third down, Ryan. And Jones has it over the middle. It'll be a gain of 11. And a tough ask here. They're going to go for it on 4th down and 9.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
It'll be a gain of 9, and they're able to pick up the conversion here on 4th down.
We always hear about guys wanting to make plays that quiet a crowd.
Yeah.
After that one.
Here in the third quarter, they were hoping to get the stop, get the football back. Not the case.
What a completion on a 4th down play.
On first down, Ryan. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
And now they're in the hurry-up.
We always like to talk about defense in terms of levels. First-level defensive line, second-level linebackers, third-level defensive backs. On that run, that was what we call a first-level run, and it was stopped by a second-level player. I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed-out position because he creates mismatches with his size. The slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route-running savvy.
They'll come out in the pistol. They'll send a receiver in motion to the left. Running it, Washington. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
And that's exactly what you want on a first down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
To throw on second down is Stafford. Ebron caught left side. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. That one good for 17 yards, and now they've got it 1st and goal. And now it looks like they're going to be in the hurry-up. 5 yards to go for the offense. First down and goal from that 5-yard line. Give him 2 yards on that one. 2nd and goal now.
Well, Brandon, we always know that once you score 1 touchdown, you're without a doubt. And so far today, he's got 1, but was denied as he tried to get the 2nd one.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. And this is going to result in losing yardage. They're driven back to the 8-yard line.
Well, Brandon, he's had a great day, and sometimes that just happens. It is the NFL. They will make some plays against you.
And back at the 8 now. 3rd and goal. Back now at Ford Field. All even as we get ready to start the 4th. Now Stafford on 3rd and goal. Open is Tate. Touchdown, Lions. Golden Tate. He scored on a punt return, and now he's scored through the air. And the Lions have broken our tie as they take the lead. It's up and good, and they've jumped back ahead, 35-28. So after the touchdown, Martin now on to kick this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here comes the Falcon offense now as they get set to take over here. They'll run with Freeman here to begin the drive. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. Big boys down there in the trenches, and a nice play to stop them cold. Nothing there.
Yeah, when you talk about big boys, you're talking about those defensive tackles, those nose tackles. They're not just big.
And he'll be hit from behind and taken down. It'll go as a loss of about 6, and now it brings up 3rd.
Okay, you know my bias is about to come out here. A lot of people think that the offense is just moving in the wrong direction. I'd say they're moving in the right direction because the defense is pushing them back.
Former defensive guy. Now it's a quarterback. Rush coming, and he's taken down. 1 score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. 3rd and long, defense with no fear. They brought the pressure.
Zero fear at all. That means they feel really good about the guys who are going to cut.
And he's going to go down. Back at his own 5-yard line. It's a sack. Now the Lions offense, they get ready to head back out there. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around. Here's Stafford now on second down. This is Riddick on the screen. He went backwards 7 yards, setting up a tough third down.
Time to give a little credit here. That was an excellent read by the guys on the defensive side of the ball.
Oh, you're crediting your defense.
Got to credit them on that one because they tried to fool them, right? Tried to trick them. Ran a screen, and they went to it and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
And Prater's kick is on the money. It's good. And that will push the lead up to double digits now at 10. So a big one there as that gives them a little cushion.
And you know, here in the fourth quarter, the fact that they were able to bleed some time off the clock and put points on the board, even if it's only 3, that could turn out to be the drive that ultimately wins them the game.
Now it's Martin to do the honors after the made field goal. That's fielded in the end zone. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line. So out come the Falcons now. And last time, went for it on 4th, didn't get it. We'll see if they can pick themselves up off the mat and do better this go-around.
Sometimes I have this vision of coaches writing notes to themselves before a game. And sometimes that note says, be aggressive, stay aggressive. Maybe that's what we saw in the last possession.
Yeah, they were very aggressive. This time, will it result in points? We'll find out. And now a 10th carry for Freeman. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Yeah, that wasn't a big run, just a short one there. But guess what? Sometimes you treat it like boxing. You throw that jab out there, and you throw it again, you throw it again, then you come with a big punch later. Maybe they're just trying to set them up.
On second down, Ryan. Incomplete. They were looking that time to get it to Justin Hardy. And it's 3rd down.
There are a good number of coaches that any time they call an in route are really worried about the play because there's so much traffic ordinarily that the ball has to get through to get to the receiver. And on that play, it was batted down.
So a 2nd down incompletion now brings up 3rd down. On 3rd down, Ryan. And the catch is made by Justin Hardy. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping them from a 1st down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. Here we go. It's Ryan on 4th down. And no, it's incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Lions will get the football back in terrific field position. So the Lions offense ready to go back out onto the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too. And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. A great effort.